Hello, my name is Brandon Lenkel.
And I am Ayuma Cornaldi.
We are part of the Com 481 feature production class. Every semester in Com Media, students produce audio projects, video projects, and even video game design projects.
Even though we only had 9 people in the class, we were able to produce big results. Today, we want to show you 7 of our class's best projects. These projects showcase the relationship between IUP students, the university, and the Indiana community.
Why do we communicate? We might want to send a simple message when we have conversation, but when you add medium like television or radio, the way we send that message might take some time and learning.
And when I say swipe, y'all say swipe, 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 swipe.
Rapping might not seem to be the most in-depth of genres of music to the untrained ear, but local Indiana University rapper Stanley Bacone, aka Swipe, is using what he is learning in the communications media program at IUP to achieve his dreams.
I direct videos. I've been directing videos since 9th grade. I've been audio engineering since 16, you know what I'm saying? I put on my first project at 16, now I have 9 projects out of 19, see what I'm saying? So it's just, I guess as a musician or as a rapper, I would, like I said, I just want to keep making the bass strong, you know what I'm saying? Without a strong bass, there's no foundation really.
Listening and viewing a medium through radio speakers or camera lens always has a price, especially behind the screen.
I think that some of the challenges that our students face whenever they're trying to achieve their goals in their career and their life in general is just not having enough experience.
Now, as a freshman, it's kind of hard to get my foot in some doors that I really want to get in, like meeting people and stuff like that, videographers, just developing a team and stuff like that, because I'm only taking one-on-one. But the communications aspect of it is just sharpening my teeth as like a tiger I am and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, even though I know the stuff, it's just teaching me, like, all right, how did magazines start? How did television start, just in general, you know what I'm saying? By doing that, knowing the beginning of this stuff, it always makes it easier to create the future aspects of it for everybody, not just me.
Well, my communications background here at IUP has been really helping me to achieve my dream of becoming a music producer and an audio producer, really. And through that, I've been able, being here at IUP, I've been able to take a couple of audio classes that have really helped me, understand some of the basic concepts with it, and especially some of the film production classes that I'm taking as well have allowed me to. You have kind of given me an outlet to, to produce music and material for certain programs with IUP. So, writing soundtracks, backing tracks. Also, it's more, it's a club, but, joining the radio stations really allowed me to, expand the types of projects I would work on. I've been writing a lot of like PSAs, kind of like station IDs, jingles, things like that, things that I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to do on my own. So it's been kind of like challenging me to, to put my attention to, different areas that I might not otherwise focus on.
Graduating with a degree in comm media from IUP has really helped with my career. I took a lot of classes that were theory-based whenever I was in undergrad, and because I knew so much of that theory, I was able to catch up and do the production in my master's and in my PhD program using that theoretical basis that I had, and learn the technology now when it's current to be able to go and teach our students today.
I think we, especially here in the comm department, have a really, really close-knit group of people who are really willing to help each other out. Really, no matter what time of day, no matter what the stress level, everyone's really willing to help each other out, which is great. So, yeah, best department around.
Indiana isn't exactly the type of place that you would expect to find warriors or knights. But with some recent creation of the Stage Combat Club by some dedicated theater students, you might find a few swordsmen amongst the students of IUP.
Every time you watch a movie, you may wonder how a fight scene looks so convincing without harm to the performers. These fight routines are choreographed and created by professional stage combatants. Michael Hood, Dean of the Fine Arts Program, is a licensed fight choreographer who teaches stage combat to theater students at IUP.
I guess my interest in stage combat began probably when I was in high school. I was lucky enough to be at a school that had a very enterprising theater program, great teacher, great opportunities, and in my junior year, I was cast in a production of At one point in the play, the character I was playing was kind of a smart-alecky young doctor, said something snarky to a pretty confident young nurse, and as written in the play, the young nurse slaps the doctor in the face. And my teacher worked with us to try to develop a painless and effective way to have that slap delivered on stage. And the reality is that neither the young woman playing the nurse nor I could master it. And rather than cause him any further pain in his attempt to teach it to us, we just decided to go ahead and do the slap. So every night I got slapped full in the face, and we were proud and happy to deliver something as startling and as realistic as what was actually startling and realistic. And we're lucky I didn't get hit in the eye or didn't get my jaw broken, etc.
Dean Hood has taught many students stage combat, but one student felt that it was his calling. Matt Smith, a theater student at IUP, found himself in love with the art of fight choreography after taking Dean Hood's combat class.
I got into stage combat by taking the Combat for the Stage course my sophomore year here at IUP. I decided to take the course, one, because the dean was teaching it and I really wanted to get the chance to work with him. And also I thought that given my wrestling background, I was a wrestler for 8 years, that I would be able to do well in the class. And I was right. I really, really enjoyed the class as well. I really think I kind of found my calling as a theater artist by being an actor combatant. It came very naturally. I looked forward to class every day. I tried to get to class early most days, actually.
I picked up a little bit of my training in a lot of places. High school, at college, at Arizona State University, some. A lot more at the University of New Orleans, where I did my graduate work and was also lucky enough to be a member of the Club Sabre team on that campus. I began to see the connection between competition / historical / stage fencing, and my interest was further piqued, and I took the opportunity to attend a number of workshops during that time, and then of course following that time in my career. There's also a great deal of reading material out there. But the major place where I have learned is with the Society of American Fight Directors, which is a national and international organization devoted to fight direction, choreography, safe practice, and with which I have been associated since, I think, 1979.
Being taught stage combat is very interesting, but actually having people that are less experienced than you, having to teach them what you're doing, having to break down what you have already learned yourself and know in your body but may not be able to vocalize, you have to break it down step by step and really think like, okay, how did I do that roll? How does this punch work? How does my arm move in this extension? And it really helped me improve my technique and skill in the art.
Stage combat has brought both Dean Hood and Matt many exciting experiences, such as a trip to China in which they both had the opportunity to teach stage combat to students at Nanjing University of the Arts.
So last spring break, I went to the Nanjing University of the Arts in Nanjing, China. We went there, we were there for a week. Dean Hood asked me to come along to assist him. He was teaching in a 4-day unarmed workshop. We got over there, we had I think 22 students, and we had like 3 different translators following me and Dean Hood around. I started the club because after the course ended, that was the end of my sophomore year, I decided, and I kind of knew that you know, if I didn't keep practicing these skills, that they would eventually, you know, go away. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to maintain my skills. So I approached Dean Hood about forming a club that would meet once a week to just practice techniques. And it really kind of took on a life of its own, you know, because You know, I quickly found that I was one of the more experienced people who was coming to club every day, and I had a lot of new people come and want to learn about this, and so I kind of you know, fell into the role of teaching them along with other more senior members of the club and Dean Hood. But so it hasn't just been about practicing skills; it's also been teaching new skills and learning new choreography and choreographing, and just really a lot of cool stuff has come out of this club.
The illusion of a violent act is often that most important, that culminating moment that caps the struggle that the play may be trying to show, whether it's comedy or tragedy. Somewhere within the theatrical reality of the play, someone can no longer speak and can only express themselves in a physical way. There are ways, however, to make that physical expression both effective for an audience and safe for the performer.
And now we bring you the story that has been more than a long time coming. 15 years in the making, and finally this year, Muslims in Indiana now have a place of worship with the completion of the new mosque.
The sound of azan can now be heard from all over Indiana. Indiana is a town that is predominantly populated by Christianity. Many churches can be seen across town. However, until the building of the new mosque, there were no mosques in sight. The new mosque is a major step in gaining more representation for Muslims here in Indiana. Many Muslims come from all around the world, and one of these Muslims is Dr. Wibowo, a business professor who is also a contributor to the new mosque.
I came here in 1999, Muslim, and especially for students, it's not easy to worship because we have only a very small mosque and an old building, and the building is not set up for a prayer. So therefore, some student or some Muslim will pray in one room, and then if not enough, we will pray in another room. Sometimes also we need to rent or reserve a room in IUP because it's not enough room over there, and also it's not convenient for the student, especially for IUP student, to go back and forth. So therefore it is easier to pray in one of the IUP rooms.
In the past, Muslims prayed in a mosque that was actually a small house located on the 200 block of Philadelphia Street. As the Islamic population grew over the past 15 years, steadfast fundraising and the spirit of this community built the mosque from the ground up, but it's not stopping there. Plans for future additions are on their way. Dr. Teresa Smith, chairperson of religious studies at IUP, advocates for the symbolic representation for the community at large.
All religious institutions and all groups of any kind, need some place that they can call home so that they can have their own, in this case, masjid or house of worship. So it will obviously help with their community. It'll also make them much more visible to the larger community. For the larger community, of course, our communities are always enhanced by an increase in diversity. And I would think and hope that all that this mosque can do is really, increase understanding.
In many parts of the U.S., Islam has a hard time being recognized and represented. The Muslim community in Indiana is creating a new addition to the mosque. The new Islamic Center wants to educate all Muslims about their religion and to connect the diversities in the community. The mosque is becoming a cradle for the diverse Islamic community who come from different cultures and nationalities. IUP students Mohammed Al-Arjani and Hasna Mohammed are both student workers at the Office of International Education.
Saudi students are like the bigger community in Indiana and in IUP as students. but we still have other nationalities. We still have some people from Egypt, from Algeria, from Jordan, and also we have other nationalities that non-Arabic speaker, and they are still Muslims. And we feel just like one unit. I don't think that anyone feel that because Saudi students are bigger communities, or Saudi nationality bigger community in IUP or in Indiana, that's make them feel that this market is for them. No, it's for everyone. We all helped to fundraise this project.
Many families that come here, and their kids are little, and they give birth here to their kids, and they usually need the mosque to teach their kids about the culture and the religion. And other than that, it helps them like really practice their religion, because there are many people who didn't go to the older mosque because it didn't have like any media or advertising or website or anything that could grab people to the mosque.
Community, and one thing that gather us is the religion. There is nothing would be different, because our language differences in languages or in nationalities, Islam gather and make us one unit and make us one family.
There is a shared feeling of family that brings together the larger Muslim communities into one central location. It brings a greater sense of familiarity, home, and culture to individual Muslims. And for the small town of Indiana, the new mosque will help to illuminate what is true Islamic culture.
On a sweeter note, this next feature brings French delicacies to the community of Indiana. Six Hand Bakery is a small bakery that creates combination of traditional French pastries and pastries from around the world to the students of IUP and the Indiana community. Now let's take a closer look at the hands behind the sweets.
A little past the corner of 8th and Philadelphia Street lies a hidden treasure for your taste buds. Six Hand Bakery opened in 2009 and since then has been bringing all kinds of tasty delights to the students and the community of Indiana. And who are the owners, you may ask? Meet Jean-Yves Boulard, one of the two owners of the bakery. Jean-Yves came to the United States 10 years ago and found himself missing the traditional French baked goods of his home country, so he decided to take up an apron and do some baking on his own.
Well, we were, Stephanie and I, and a third baker, were working at Rigus Farm. Rigus Farm was a cafe and also a farm that sold vegetables. And they hired us to bake breads for their sandwiches, and also we would bring baguettes and loaves of bread to the farmers market. And we did that for several seasons, and we sold more and more breads on the farmers market. And the three of us, the bakers there, thought that, well, maybe there is actually a potential in Indiana. Maybe we would have enough of a clientele to open a small bakery. So that was how it all started.
The menu is changed weekly based on the season and some of the French and European baking trends. Customer input is also highly valued in regards to the creation of the baked goods.
The big story of the turtle bun.
Oh,
Remember the
yes,
turtle bun? On a Friday, there is this man who is still a customer here, young man, and he had spent time in the Netherlands in the military. And he said, "Oh, there was that bread, and it was crusty, and it looked like, and he could not exactly describe it, but we had an idea. It was crackling topping." So in a magazine, we ultimately, I think you found, a picture
recipe,
of.
And I'd eaten something like that anyway in another country, but
So-
so we worked on it and.
Say, yeah, next
There's a
week
turtle
we,
bun.
we show him, yeah, that's it.
Well, it took a little longer than
Well, to show him.
To show him the picture.
And
yes,
then
yes,
Stephanie
yes.
worked
That
on
was
that for about a month, and we had him come back. Try. Was it that? No, they. So it took about a month, and then we got the first 2 turtle buns free, and now the turtle bun is on the menu.
There are many things that make Six Hand Bakery unique from the other bakeries in the area.
All natural ingredients. We're committed to all natural ingredients. Minimum, nothing processed. We make everything fresh from scratch, so we don't get any fillings that are made in a jug. A lot of times, you can buy pre-made fillings, but we actually make everything here. So all of our fruit fillings, all of our pastry cream, everything is made from scratch.
So this is also the message is smaller, but tastier. Because what we think is, if you consume something that is pretty, that is tasty, that smells very pleasing, you're gonna eat 1 or 2, not 10. And in a way, it's real. It's satisfactory food, and we have to fight here a lot about. Oh, I can't come in here. I'm on a diet. Oh, bread makes you fat. Oh, no. Our breads, our sweets have real ingredients. We use butter, we use sugar, we use flour, but there's none of the additives, chemical, that actually are very bad for you. Actually, satisfaction that we have when we are in back is to come in, to see people come into the store, and the first thing that most do, they smell. And they don't say anything.
Great.
They smell, and it's for us. It's beautiful. It's today we've achieved our goal.
For the owners of Six Hand Bakery, it's not only about making money, but to provide food made with passion.
What to say? Make items that it's like a color. You don't have a favorite color. You have a color in a palette or in a context, and a color is perfect depending on the context. And I think that's what we're trying to do here with all what we make. Everything has to be, expects to be perfect within its category in a certain context. And we not necessarily achieve that every time, but that's the goal. That's the goal. The goal is taste. The goal is flavor. The goal is color. The goal is smell.
Consumable art.
Yeah, exactly. We're making consumable art. This is our ambition. This is what we stand for.
Everybody eats, but not in the same way. There are many people that do not follow the same dietary guidelines as you or me. Vegetarians refrain from eating meat, but vegans follow a different diet. Dietary vegans refrain from consuming animal products, not only meat. This is the story about one vegan student at IUP.
When people think about the diet of the average college student, they may think ramen and Hot Pockets. Although cheap, they're not the healthiest options, but some students will go the extra length to uphold their diets to a higher standard. Meet Aima, a senior at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Unlike most people that choose to live a vegan lifestyle, she didn't make a decision one day. She was brought up in a household that lived to the standard of a strict vegan diet.
Growing up, I was raised vegan. Being vegan means that you don't eat any animal products whatsoever, so no meat, no dairy products. My parents chose to raise me vegan for nutritional health reasons. They just feel it was a healthier lifestyle, and me and all my brothers and sisters were brought up vegan. That's all I knew.
Stores such as Whole Foods, Wegmans, and Trader Joe's are fantastic markets to acquire vegan food products, carrying foods such as soy cheese, milk, and even food options such as vegan chicken and bacon.
In Philadelphia, my family owns a vegan restaurant called the Nile Cafe, and there we sell all kind of vegan soul foods like barbecue chicken, pepper steak, and even soy ice cream. These different mock meats replace regular meat in terms of protein and nutritional value, and it's actually much healthier for you.
How do you find the food that you need in order to be a vegan?
Well, when I first came to IUP, I was expecting the dining halls to have more vegan options. And when I didn't find much there, I kind of went on a search for vegan options in the town, but the closest thing I found was Martin's.
And do you continue to be true to your vegan diet even today?
Now, 3 years later, as a senior, it's kind of hard, and unfortunately, I'm not.
When Naima graduates, she has already made up her mind to return to her vegan roots, and even says that she would love to raise a vegan family someday.
We all crave something in the morning. It could be something hearty to fill your stomach, or a bitter cup of black coffee to give your day a boost. But students at IUP's campus are starting their day off with something sweeter.
So what do you think of when you hear the word donut? Dough? Icing? Or maybe hungry cops? No matter what you think of, donuts can draw in a crowd young or old to any donut shop. That's what attracts people to Donut Connection in Indiana, PA. Meet Portia. She's the owner and manager of Donut Connection. She's trying to make her name as a local business owner.
As a business person, I'm motivated by the fact that when you're an entrepreneur, you can set the bars for your own standards as far as what you want to make the business. The motivation comes totally from within.
But Portia's motivation is more than just a concern for profit. For her, it's about conveying value.
But as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you can, convey in your business a lot more than just profit making, but you can also convey your values, convey things that are important to you, and in the end, you have a product and you have somebody satisfied with the product.
But Portia's entrepreneurial drive comes from the fact that she wants to improve the community she lives in.
Very important, because one, I'm a resident of Indiana, so being a local business owner means that I'm part of, the community. So I am also a taxpayer. Things that happen in the community are just as important to me as my customers who come in through the door.
All this motivation filters down into the final sweet product.
I think the biggest thing would have to be our pride in making our products in-house and having quality products that we can say, yes, we know that we made it in-house.
And it's not hard to see the result of all the hard work pay off.
Well, when I walked in here today, there were a bunch of people. Looked like they had just gotten up. They rolled in here for breakfast. It's kind of a cozy little atmosphere. They've got couches over there. They've got booths. They've got stools and tables on the other side. So I think it's somewhere you can kind of just come on a Sunday morning, relax, start your day off with, coffee, hot chocolate, donut, sandwich, whatever you feel like. But you're not pressured. It's not like a regular fast food restaurant where you're in and out. You don't feel rushed. It's nice.
Donuts are awesome. I was at least expecting bacon to be on my donut this morning. And then I got the best hot coffee I've ever had.
Donuts are really good. I could tell right from the first bite they use fresh ingredients, and it was a very tasty and satisfying treat. It seems like a fun place. You can come hang out with your friends, get a small snack, donut, smoothie, and seems like a nice social environment to enjoy, maybe get some work done, read a book.
Donut's good. We got the Vanilla Angel. It's pretty good. It's powdered donut with vanilla cream inside. It's really good.
There's a lot that goes into making a donut, but enjoying them is a different story. Anyone can enjoy a donut because they're meant to be a sweet escape. And that escape can be anything from a long night of studying to making your morning a little bit more fun.
If you've been on IUP's campus, you may be wondering why some students carry hula hoops with them. IUP Junior, president of the IUP Hoop Troop, Jordan Snowden, tell us why hooping is more than just shaking your hips.
Who would have thought that a simple plastic circle could bring so much joy, happiness, and smiles to a group of people? When most people think of a hula hoop, They think of a kid's toy that is twirled around your waist. When I see a hula hoop, I see endless dance, fun, and health benefits. If you were to travel back in time to 1000 BC, you'd find Egyptian children playing with hoop toys of dried grapevine. They threw them, jumped them, and slung them around their bodies like we do today.
The ancient Greeks used hoops to tone their abdominal muscles.
And in 1958, the Whammo company trademarked the name hula hoop. Even though most college students have picked up a hula hoop at some point in their childhood, it wasn't until September of 2014 that a hula hoop club was formed at IUP. I created IUP's first ever hula hoop club called the IUP Hoop Troop, named after the prestigious Electric Forest Hoop Troop. The Hoop Troop is a place where hoopers around IUP can come learn and exchange tricks with other fellow hoopers. It is also a time to have fun and forget about the stress of everyday life. Angela, Christina, and Devin are dedicated members of the Hoop Troop who, like myself, have a passion for hula hooping.
I got into Hoop Club because I noticed it through music festivals and me and my close friends got into it, so we decided to start a club.
I joined Hula Hoop Club because I was recently in color guard and I wanted a new challenge for myself.
I joined Hula Hoop Club to get more into like school and meet new people. Well, I think the benefits of hula hooping daily or once a week or whenever you can do it is honestly the fitness. Like it's so much exercise and like you can get like a nice ab workout into it.
My biggest challenge with hooping was at first I couldn't even keep it up. Couldn't even keep it on my waist and that was really frustrating, but I've come a long way since then.
Dr. Anna Ortiz, a communications media professor at IUP, is the advisor of the club.
I was excited and kind of proud that you're doing something like this different from everything that's going on campus. And I think hula hooping is kind of silly. You really only think about kids doing it, but when it's a bunch of young people doing it, it's kind of fun. It's free-spirited, fun. You can bond over it. You can get a little workout in and just kind of, you know, hula hoop to music. I mean,
Not only is hula hooping a fun activity, it's also a full body workout. Hula hooping can work as many as 30 of your body's muscles. This includes muscles in your arms, legs, thighs, chest, back, and of course your waist and stomach. Hooping on a regular basis can whittle your waist and strengthen your stomach muscles. Hula hooping burns 400 calories an hour, and if that isn't enough to convince you hooping is a great exercise, it's also good for your heart, improves your spine strength and flexibility, improves hand-eye coordination, and increases your mood. As with anything, there comes challenges and frustration along with hooping. Getting to the level I am today took a lot of time, effort, sweat, and tears. Learning new tricks is a challenge, especially if it's on a part of your body that you do not move that often. Learning to move the hoop from my knees to my waist was by far my biggest challenge. Hula hooping is a feel-good, fun activity for all ages, genders, and races. It brings people with all sorts of backgrounds together. The Hoop Troop is open to all IUP students, faculty, and staff. It's hard not to smile when hooping. Laughs can be heard and smiles can be seen whenever there's a hula hoop around. Who knew a little plastic circle had so much power? Thank you for joining us. This brings the Feature Production Class Showcase to a close.
We hope you enjoyed our show. Stay tuned to IUP TV for other featured student work.